Now, from Wish TV, this is The Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. Coming up tonight, the fall season comes to a close with the football state finals. In the Coach's Corner, we take a look back at an historic 10 football championship for Ben Davis. Plus, our Athlete of the Week shines for one of the top boys basketball teams in the state.
I always wanted to come here and be a Lawrence North Wildcat. So, yeah, it's like a dream come true. I always wanted to play at the highest level here.
Everyone's cheering for an all-new Zone Extra right now.
Hi, everybody. Good evening to you. Welcome to the Zone Extra. I'm Anthony Calhoun. What a great week of high school sports action as we bring the football season to a close with state championships. And basketball season, kicks into full gear as we speak right now. In the Coach's Corner, for the 10th time in school history, Ben Davis is a football state champion. Giants head coach Russ Mann and senior linebacker Rylan Brown are here in studio for a conversation. Plus, our Athlete of the Week is leading one of the state's top boys basketball teams. We're introduced you to Lawrence North Jr. Xavier Robinson. And we go on campus tonight at Purdue to connect with Boilermaker senior and former Northwestern High School basketball standout Madison Layton. Now let's take a look at this week in high school sports. Last weekend, it was the football state finals from Lucas Oil Stadium in Class 5A. Decatur Central took on Fort Wayne Snyder. First quarter, Bo Polston finds receiver here, Casey Berry, for 34 yards. That sets up a Hawks field goal, and they strike first. Second quarter here, Uriah Buchanan finds a hole, and there he goes, 80 yards for the touchdown, and Snyder goes in front. They would lead by a point at the break. Panthers by 7 early on. It's Buchanan again, this time 95 yards to the house. Snyder wins his third football state title. 33-6 is the final in that one from the weekend. In Class 3A, it was number 1 Bishop Tard taking on Heritage Hills. First quarter, Riley Kinnett hits the hole, and he's in from 24 yards out. 7-0 Trojans take the early lead. Second quarter we go. Chatard facing 4th and 7 here. Aiden Ortega here connects with Colin Guy, who takes it down to the 2-yard line. Next play, Kinnett punches it in again. He had 4 touchdowns on the day. Chatard wins the state record 17th football title. 35-7, the final.
Somebody asked me what it would feel like for me to go 15-0, and it's really not for me, it's for the kids. 20 years from now, I hope our seniors, a great group of young men, they can look back and think of the great times they had and the things that we did to help them become better men. Feels great to get back. It's not as easy as people think, so we're very blessed to be here.
All right, so how about Chatard getting another state title in Class 1A game for the 3rd straight year? It was Lutheran facing Adams Central. First Saints drive, Jackson Willis connects here with Devon Jones for a 67-yard touchdown. Game tied at 7 at that point. Second quarter we go. Willis here finds L.J. Ward. That's a 24-yard score. Lutheran leads by 14 at halftime, and they go on to win this 3rd Class 1A title in a row. 35-28, the final.
Well, we challenge each group as we've moved through and won in each state championship. Their legacy is not what we've won before. It's what they leave, and now this senior group has their own. And what an exceptional way to do it.
How about that? Lutheran getting it done once again this year. Okay, to the hardwood now, where we are a few weeks into the girls basketball season. And last week, boys basketball tipped off around the state of Indiana. And Saturday, last season's Class 4A runner-up Kokomo hosted Westfield in a top 10 showdown. Into the first quarter, Rock's forced to turn over here. Durante Morton here to beat the buzzer. Banks it in. Westfield up by 7. Second quarter, you got Flora here. Badonga showing what he could do, misses the shot but gets his own board and slams it home. Cats by 4 at the break. Game time with a minute to go. Charles Farrell coast to coast, the bucket and the foul to give Westfield the lead, and they win by 5. All right, how about the ladies in action on Saturday? It was a top 10 clash between number 6 Lawrence North and number 7 Bedford North Lawrence. Game tied in the second quarter. Jemiah here Thomas inside gets her own rebound and lays it in. Wildcats take the lead. Later in the quarter, you got a Hurt here quickly up the floor. Turnaround jumper from the baseline is good. Ellen up 13 at the break. Third quarter we go here as Moore's open for 3. Gonna knock down the bucket. Lawrence North wins big. 62-36 is the final. To wrestling we go tonight, where we are a couple of weeks into the new boys season. Last Saturday, Southport High School hosted the Gobbler tournament, and it was a good day for third-ranked Center Grove as the Trojans won the team title over runner-up Southport and third place Franklin Central. Congratulations to them getting the job done there on the mats over the weekend. Okay, time for a break. Much more coming your way here tonight on the Zone Extra. Glad you're hanging out with us. Up next is the Coach's Corner. They're fresh off of winning the 6A football state championship. Ben Davis, head coach, Russ Mann, and senior linebacker Nyland Brown. They're here with us in studio. Can't wait to talk to them. And still ahead, he's the junior star for one of the top boys basketball teams in the state. We'll introduce you to our athlete of the week from Lawrence North. Come on back.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. This is the Zone Extra Coach's Corner.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Zone Extra for the 10th time in school history. 10th time. Ben Davis is a football state champion after knocking out Crown Point Saturday night at Lucas Oil Stadium. Welcome to the Zone Extra. Head coach Russ Mann with us and senior linebacker Nyland Brown here with us tonight. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And I'm going to start first with Coach. You know, you've been in this business for a long time, and to finally win a state championship in your first year, I see you smiling from year to year. How nice is it to get the reward where your kids worked so hard to be able to win a state championship?
Well, it was a dream roster to inherit. Like we had 40 seniors, and they couldn't be it was a dream story. Like it was like more like the Rumor of the Titans movie. Like they should have a movie about the senior class. I mean, you have a lot of returning starters. The leadership on the group was incredible. Quarterback, linebacker, kicker. Like you don't usually have all three of those phases, and we had all the phases down. So it was nice to make a little dream run there in the 6A South and cap it off this past Saturday with a championship.
That's great. And Nyland, I know, I've been a senior and just been a leader on this team. The ultimate goal is to get to Lucas Oil Stadium and then to finally win it. What was that moment like for you?
It was really surreal. It was a lot to take in. It was definitely a great moment to be able to look back on and say we did that together as a team, as a brotherhood. We had a lot of faith throughout the entire season, a lot of ups and downs. It was a great highlight to add to our lives, and I couldn't enjoy it more having that with my brothers and my coaches and that community behind it.
Yeah, you got to love it there. So we're taking a look at some of the highlights here, and Coach, it was a tight game going into the second half of the game. What did you tell your guys when you went into halftime as you really broke away there in the second half?
Well, it's definitely the type of game Crown Point wanted. They wanted to make sure they could keep it within a score there, and they managed the first half nicely. And then at halftime, while walking into the locker room, there wasn't much to say. Everybody was dialed in and making any type of adjustments that we needed to make. So it was like, if you would have walked in that locker room, you would have seen the composure, same composure that happened a lot during the playoffs, and it was business as usual. And I just kind of I tried to hide my smile, because I knew, okay, we're raring in here in the second half.
Yeah, and Nyland, you know, Coach talked about just your journey. You guys getting to state. We saw what you did the first week in the postseason, beat the #1 team in the state in Brownsburg, and then you went on and on your way to state. You knocked off 3 top 10 teams. Well, what does that say about yourself and your teammates here as you made your way to Lucas Oil Stadium?
We just have so much grit. That all started in the off season. Started in January with all of our meetings, our leadership meetings as a senior class. Even brought in some of the young guys just to teach them leadership. That was the most important thing, was learning that leadership and learning the bond and that brotherhood. Like I said earlier, it's the most important thing. That's how you build a team. That's the glue. And that's what kept us in those games, beating those top 10 teams. Yeah. It was an amazing feeling. It was ecstatic. It was an ecstatic feeling.
Yeah, and I guess you got to go back just the leadership, right? I mean, all those seniors on the team, you guys knew, look, it was now or ever, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so I want to take a look at some of the video here for the celebration for you guys. 10th state championship. I mean, you know the history, you know the tradition when it comes to Ben Davis. For you as a coach, though, what did it mean to you to be able to give this program, who hadn't been there for a while, to be back in state to win a 10th state championship, becoming the first public school to win 10, which is amazing in itself?
And that was big to us. We wanted to make sure we were the first public school, or just make a kind of break. There's a four-way tie there. Sheridan in 1A has 9, and Coach Budrice done a nice job there, and great job there. Then Carmel and Warren both beat at 9. So breaking that four-way tie was nice, and then being the first public school. So we're in the lead now with 10 state titles. So it was nice. It's not an easy journey. We always talk about the 6A South. So it was a nice little celebration, and to break that. At least we have at least 1 year that we have the lead right now.
That's right. And not only we saw you there celebrating, what was that like for you and your teammates getting a chance to hold the trophy and be on the field there?
Man, one thing Coach Mann had told us early in April, he said he's never touched a state championship trophy. He told us he's already got 3, never touched one. He said he will touch his first one when he wins as a head coach. And that was my mission going into that postseason. Like, as soon as we get that trophy, I care less about any other trophy that we get. I don't want to take a picture of any of those other ones. When we get that trophy, Coach Mann touches it first.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. I couldn't be more ecstatic to see him with that.
I love it.
I did. I touched it.
You touched it. You talk about this guy, and I even said this to him before. I admire not only what he does on the football field, but off the field as well. What does he mean to you and your teammates for how he not only is a coach, but what he does with you guys outside of football as well, and how he's always there for you guys?
Right. He's just like that energetic dad, like that dad that likes to chill at home, enjoy being at time, like things like that. He's the energetic one. He's the one that brings the juice. It was a lot of times where the team would be coming off a long day of school. We had PSATs one day, and Coach Mann was like, just came in, just hyped up. He just brings that energy that a lot of coaches don't like to bring day in and day out, and it was just a no-brainer for him. And we just absolutely appreciate that from Coach Mann. We always love him, and we always tell him that. And it was just great having him this year.
Pretty amazing what he's done in year 1 here at Ben Davis. Real quick, to wrap things up, give you the chance here, Coach. I know there's a lot of people out there you probably want to thank with the entire school for what they did for you guys.
Absolutely. Our administration, our parents, number one, first and foremost, too. Like, our parents did an outstanding job raising their kids. So the hats off to them. We tip our cap, and I know as a family, we admire, it'd be really impressive if we could raise our own kids to be what, you heard Nyland's interview here. It doesn't get much better than this. So our parents, and then our coaching staff as well, too. Our coaching staff poured a lot in this, especially this last month and a half, to make this come true.
That's great. Well, look, all the best to you next year with the Giants. All the best to you next year. Tell us where you're going again.
Kent State University.
Kent State. I know you're going to do a great job, my man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you guys taking the time. Congrats again on the state title. All right, we're going to take a time outside ahead to go tonight on Zone Extra. It's our athlete of the week. He's the junior star of a proud high school basketball program. Up next, meet Lawrence North guard Xavier Robinson. Plus, we go on campus tonight at Purdue with women's basketball standout and former Northwestern High School star Madison Layden. That's on the way.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to the Zone Extra. Anthony Calhoun here with you tonight. Expectations are high once again for the Lawrence North boys basketball team this season. The Wildcats are ranked 4th in the state in this week's poll, and a junior guard is a key reason the team has big goals. Xavier Robinson enters year 3 with the Wildcats, coming off a season where he averaged 20 points, over 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and nearly 3 steals per game. He is drawing college interest from numerous Division I programs and says that's something that can be stressful at times, but it's also a dream come true being in such a position. Robinson also adds that being able to play for Lawrence North with so many of the guys he grew up with is very special.
When I was younger, I used to come to these games when I was like 7 or 8. 9, 10, and I always wanted to come here and be a Lawrence North Wildcat. So yeah, it's like a dream come true. I always wanted to play at the highest level here.
We talk about being students, capital letters, athletes here, and Xavier certainly exemplifies that. He's the ultimate example of a kid that has embraced academics and athletics, and he excels in them both. And as you mentioned, even charitable work, doing things off the court to give back to the community.
I always feel like I live by example, but I wasn't very much vocal, but now I'm starting to be more vocal because I feel like I got to for us to get where we want to be. And yeah, I'm just stepping into leadership role.
You know, he's a natural scorer and aggressive by nature offensively, but he's also got the ability to play point guard for us. And when he does that, his job sometimes becomes to set up his teammates. And I think he's done more of that in June. He's doing that this preseason.
Having a more mature game, understanding the values of winning more, you know, just trying to do a little of everything, rebound, scoring, assist, whatever we got to do to win.
All the best to him. All right, time for a break, folks. Much more still to come here on the Zone Extra tonight, including our Ask the Commissioner segment with Paul Neidig of the IHSAA.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine.
Before I say anything, I want to thank our student section who won the banner this year. Best student section in the state.
As you saw earlier in the show, Chatard won a football state championship, but before that, the student section had their own moment right here in the Wish TV studios as the Trojans won the coveted Zone banner. The Chatard student section, where they were unbelievable this season, won the banner for the first time. Congratulations to them as we enjoyed another epic season with so many great student sections. And thanks, Coach Doyle, for taking the time there to give a shout out for the Zone, especially your student section, Chatard Trojans. All right, now it's time to go on campus where we catch up with the former Central Indiana High School athlete as they compete at the collegiate level. This week, we head to Purdue University with the women's basketball team. Last weekend, the Boilermakers knocked off Southern Indiana. A key piece in the win was the senior guard Madison Layton, who played high school ball and won a pair of state titles at Northwestern. As one of the 3 Purdue seniors, Madison says she's enjoying the role of helping a young team get the job done in the collegiate game. Among the 6 Boilermaker freshmen this year is her sister, her younger sister, McKenna.
There's going to be highs and lows in the games, and I think us returners just need to bring those freshmen along and just teach them the ways. It's obviously going to be a lot harder in the Big Ten. I think it's good for them to be out there and just get more experience and, you know, run our sets, be solid on defense. So it's good for us in the long run to have them out there.
All right, time now to Ask the Commissioner, where we take one of your questions to the IHSA Commissioner Paul Neidig and bring you his answer. So here we go. Here's this week's question. How important is it for the IHSAA to present the Mental Attitude Award after each state championship?
No, I think it celebrates what we profess to be about, and that's the student first. And the Mental Attitude Award really recognizes the accomplishment outside of sport for student athletes. And they may be part of their student council or great in the classroom, or we look at their grades and their test scores. But all in all, we also look at their give back to their community, making sure that they're volunteering outside of just sport. And I think it celebrates the entire student athlete, the student athlete who is a student first, and then we'll celebrate the athletic accomplishment of that student. And I think that is what we need to continue to be about, and that mental attitude puts focus back on that every time we give one out.
I love that they give out that award every year. Now for Play of the Week. 4A State Finals, East Central's Josh Ringer with a 25-yard touchdown run, his 4th of the night and number 60 on the season as the top-ranked Trojans win a 2nd straight championship. Ringer will play at Miami of Ohio next year. Congrats to him on a wonderful, wonderful high school career. Job well done. Well, Miami TV Channel 23 is your local home for high school sports. Coming up on Saturday night, it's a doubleheader of the boys basketball action with the final 2 games of the Sneakers and for Santa's shootout at Brownsburg at 6:30 is Lawrence North taking on Brownstown Central. Then after that one, it's a top 10 Class 4A showdown as Christmas Addicts faces against Center Grove. You can see all the action, Mighty TV Channel 23. It's a big night of high school hoops action as well as we premiere our Zone basketball show with all the scores and highlights coming your way across Central Indiana beginning tomorrow at 11:08. Let's take a look at some of the games we'll have for you coming up on The Zone. We got Zionsville against Westfield, Noblesville against Fishers, Brebeuf taking on Cathedral, Carmel Lawrence Central, and Brownsburg against Franklin Central. All the highlights coming up tomorrow at 11:08 right here on Wish TV. All right, folks, hey, thank you so much for watching The Zone Extra. I'm Anthony Calhoun. Congratulations to Ben Davis for winning state title. We'll see you back here next week, same time, same place.